Here occurred the frightening and shocking history of Prince Dracula and the woman he loved.
I have crossed oceans of time to find you.
Ja, Dracula.
There's a sinister, darker side to him I find irresistible. I have never met any man with such a passion for life. He is unlike any man. What are you?
Vampires do exist. This one we fight, this one we face, can take on many forms. He is both young and old. He can appear as mist, as vapor, as the fog. And he can vanish at will.
My love.
The power of his evil desire has no end.
You've got to go to him. And you've got to love him.
She is a willing recruit and devoted disciple. She is the devil's concubine. Dragon!
Join me in eternal life.
Your salvation is his destruction.
I want to be what you are. I want to see what you see. I want to love what you love. Take me away from all this death.
Make no mistake, he must be stopped.
So we just watched Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992.
Only 21 years.
21 years later. I've never seen it before, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
really good.
Except for Keanu Reeves.
Probably
Say,
except for Keanu
yeah.
I mean, were you surprised though?
No.
Reeves. I mean, it wasn't the worst.
I thought it was funny how at the beginning you were like, "Oh, I heard really good things about his performance," and then
I didn't know. I didn't hear any good things about his
first
performance.
line, it was just like, "Oh man."
You know, it's weird that I like most of the movies he's in, but I don't like him. Like, I love Speed. I loved this.
I think that with the right director, he is at the very least decent.
Yes.
But then,
And at the very most, everyone else around him is good because
Right.
there's good writers and good directors.
This is true. Gary Oldman was fantastic.
Oh yes.
yeah, he was good through
I
the
think
whole
he's
thing.
officially one of my favorite actors now.
And his hair was majestic.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that he kind of looked like Queen Amidala's grandfather. Yeah,
Letting him
so
growl and everything. It was pretty cool.
that was cool. Yeah, the stuff with the shadows was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen that in many movies. Yeah, I'm surprised it came out in 1992. It'll be... I told him this earlier, I didn't tell you. On Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, it'll be 21 years that it came out. It came out on November 13th.
Yeah. That's a long
1992.
time ago.
It was a long time ago. I was 5.
That was 2.
Some other things here. Tom Waits was awesome.
Tom Waits was awesome.
One of the reasons I wanted to watch this is because I'm getting into Tom Waits right now. Which, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Both of you. I don't know where I've been.
Collective, you're welcome.
Yeah, and I mentioned
Well, I think you're welcome from me because I think I got him into it somehow.
Yeah. Really? I mentioned it to someone who's really into music at work, and I thought, for sure, we'll get into an hour discussion about this. And he was like, I have no idea who that is. Never heard of him.
I understand people that aren't into Tom Waits, but I don't understand people who have never heard of him.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
I don't know who that is.
My dad even knows who Tom Waits is.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah,
He's in another movie that Francis Ford Coppola just came out with like a year ago. It's called Twixt.
He's in that?
Really?
Yeah, or he's like the narrator or something.
Huh.
But Val Kilmer's in it.
I've actually wanted to see that because it's I want to say it's like another like almost like a vampire type of movie.
Yeah.
Is that about the candy bar?
Yes.
Twix?
Yeah.
Well, there's a T at the end, Twixt.
Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot.
But Val Kilmer's in it, and he's been eating a lot of candy bars, it looks like, lately. So maybe that counts.
True.
I don't know. Just put on some.
Does he have long hair in this one, too?
Yeah, he does. He's in a ponytail. So I was surprised by... Well, the makeup was awesome.
Yeah.
I think it won the Oscar for makeup.
Really?
Yeah.
Or costume design.
In costumes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the makeup was incredible on
Mm-hmm.
all of Gary Oldman's stuff. I was very impressed with even with the wolf stuff, like when he was speaking, when he was in the wolf one.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it was him, like, in the full
Yeah.
get-up, when he was, like,
It
a
was.
bat at the end and everything? That was still him?
Yeah, I
Was
think
it
that was
actually
still
him?
him.
That's cool.
'Cause, yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that Dracula could be a wolf. Now, you've read the book?
Oh yeah, but I mean it was a few years ago now.
Years ago.
Last time I read it, so
I know absolutely nothing about Dracula. Never read the book. It's the first time I've seen this movie.
So I feel like everything I know about vampires has been based off of Interview
Twilight?
with a Vampire
Oh.
and no.
God, no.
And what's that one movie with Bill Paxton?
Bill Paxton? Wasn't it a vampire movie?
Yeah. Directed by Catherine Bigelow.
Oh,
Bigelow, Male Jiggler.
Yes.
Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark.
Yeah, which I've never
Which
seen.
is also like it's a vampire movie, but it's one of those that's like we're not vampire type thing. You know,
I would say I have
in quotations because the recording can't see my fingers.
I've never seen that movie, but they they re-released the DVD with a new cover that looks exactly like Twilight.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Yeah. It looks ridiculous. You need to see it.
They're doing that with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They just released Pride and Prejudice with like a Twilight
The book?
cover, but it did amazing. It sold millions of copies as soon as they changed it to Twilight style cover.
That's so sad.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it is.
kind of awesome. Like they're tricking people
Well,
into reading classic literature.
I guess that is good. I say if it's like a bridge to get kids to read the good stuff, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely going to read
But
Dracula
are
now.
they enjoying that good stuff though?
Well, I better be.
I feel like a lot of them probably get a few pages into it and go, I don't understand these words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's sparkling. I should close it. I'm definitely going to read Dracula now, though.
Yeah.
Like I'm.
Read Dracula now.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Does he, when he's backed up in a corner, does he turn into a bunch of rats?
I
Like,
don't
does it happen in the
remember
book?
him turning to rats in the book, but that was awesome. I feel like spoilers are okay for a 21-year-old movie, so
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably talk about.
Oh, you mean for this?
yeah,
I assume
or a
that.
100-year-old book.
I mean, spoilers are going to have to be okay in these because
Yeah.
we're going to watch bad movies and we're going to
Sure.
make fun of those bad movies.
Right.
So,
Have you seen Ice Spiders?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna make you watch that.
oh, you know what I just bought yesterday was Age of the Hobbits.
Did you buy that?
That's a movie.
It's a $1 movie with Christopher Judge. I can't think what he's in, but you'd know his face if you saw him.
The black guy from Stargate SG-1.
Yes.
Okay. He was in The Dark Knight Rises
He is
for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Yeah. I thought the music was really good in this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Dracula.
excellent.
It's very romantic.
I actually.
I didn't know how romantic it was. There's some parts where I was kind of like, whoa. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
it
really
was-
feeling the it's getting a little hot in here.
It was like real, like romantic and real sexual too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Dracula's
I actually
a very,
don't remember it being like as sexual as it was.
Dracula's
I
a
didn't-
sexual character. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of part of his thing.
Well, if you're
Yeah.
gonna get Gary Oldman, then you better.
Well, that's how it is with like a lot of vampires. They always stress that they can seduce anybody they want to, pretty much. So.
I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can't see my eyebrows are moving up and down, but they
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst's character in Interview with the Vampire like seduces like all these old men because she's like you know a 50-year-old vampire stuck in like a 8-year-old's body.
I never knew that. I've never.
Interview with the Vampire is pretty awesome.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
That is a very good movie.
I've never seen it.
it's great.
If we stop to say I've never seen every movie I haven't seen, that's all this podcast is going to be. So
Well,
people who are listening just need to accept that I haven't seen anything.
I've never seen Near Dark. What was the other one I told you I've never seen? I've never seen Suspiria.
Yeah, which that needs to be.
I think we're going to be watching that next
one.
week.
I've seen 3 movies. I've seen The Incredible Mr. Limpet, I've seen The Dark Knight, and I've seen... I'm not allowed to say the other one on mic. That's
Bring it on.
right.
Bring it on. Those are the only movies you've ever seen?
Yeah.
These are not spirit fingers. Spirit fingers.
Anthony Hopkins was Van Helsing. He was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
You mean Van Helsing was Anthony Hopkins?
You mean
Van Helsing was Anthony Hopkins. It was actually that was the
Abraham Van Helsing?
that was the year after Silence of the Lambs came out.
Really?
So he was just fresh off his Oscar win. So I think
He's always good.
yeah.
Even his own.
I think I've liked everything he's ever been in. Yeah.
He always plays like a good part. It doesn't matter what he's in.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen Hannibal? Gary Oldman is in that as the guy that buys Hannibal's mask, and he was Hannibal's lover. Like they were lovers, like back in the day. I forget his name in it though.
Yeah, and then is he the one that
He's
gets
like horribly
disemboweled at the end of the movie? Because he like ties him to the.
We're just gonna spoil other movies.
It's fine.
Yeah, he gets eaten by pigs. I think.
He ties him to the whatchamacallit, the dolly at first, and then like cuts his guts open and throws him over the balcony.
Why haven't I seen Hannibal?
Hannibal's awesome. It's very underrated.
Really good, but honestly, I don't like Julianne Moore in that movie.
That's the one thing I didn't like because Jodie Foster played the character.
So she plays Clarice Starling, and it's just she doesn't do nearly as good as Jodie Foster did.
Well, I'm going to trade in my copy of The Incredible Mr. Limpet, and I'm going to get the Hannibal movies.
Obviously.
Red Dragon's pretty bad, though.
Red Dragon's not that good. Manhunter I loved, which
Manhunter's
Anthony
great.
Hopkins is not in.
No, it's
Brian Cox.
Yeah, Brian Cox, which he's awesome. I like him in anything.
He's good.
Too.
It's really weird. Those two, him and Anthony Hopkins were in Red 2 together. I'm like, there's 2 Hannibal Lecters together. That's
Wait,
great.
they're in Red 2?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really weird.
Brian Cox is the... Or no, that's not him, is it? I was
That's
thinking he was the guy in Game of Thrones, the leader of the wall.
Let's see, how do you know Brian Cox? I don't think he was in any of the 3 movies you've ever seen. He was William Stryker in X-Men 2.
Yeah. And
Yes.
He's definitely not the guy. He's not the...
No, but he's in something as an old...
He was in The Ring. He's the one. He's Samar's dad, I think.
Is he in...
Is that the guy who knocks him? He kills himself in the bathtub.
He's in Braveheart too, isn't he?
Yes,
He's the dad.
I think so.
Amish's dad.
I think so.
I think so too.
So
back on to the
what did we watch? Dracula?
Yeah.
This is what we're going to be doing every week. I think people are just going to have to accept that. We're going to say the episode is called Bram Stoker's Dracula, but we'll be talking about like 1,000 other movies.
Yeah, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
There's no way to talk about movies with people who have seen so many movies without
Right.
branching off.
Yeah.
Unless you actually focus, and that's bullshit. So,
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So
fuck you.
That's what people are looking for when listening to this, then they should
Yeah.
look elsewhere.
You shouldn't look at all because you should be listening.
This is true. Or you could just stare at your computer while you're listening. That's a nice background.
Did I mention Winona Ryder? She's in this.
We didn't really say much about her yet.
She's looking pretty hot in this movie.
I mean, I think
I
she's
thought
always
she
very attractive.
Not in Beetlejuice though. She was like 10.
Yeah.
You're a pervert.
Like Natalie Portman in The Professional.
Oh
If
god,
you
yeah.
watch closely in
Or
this movie,
Dakota
you can
Fanning
see-
and Uptown Girls.
If you look closely in the movie, you can see her taking small things off of dressers the whole time, just putting them into her pocket.
Oh, because she's a shoplifter.
Yes.
Whatever happened with that? Because she's still in movies. She was just in Black Swan.
I mean, I don't think that she did any hard time.
People just got over it?
Taking lipstick or whatever.
Yeah.
Why she need to be still in that for? She's rich. I mean,
Exactly. It's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's just not that rich. Pay her for
I really had to consider that for a second.
Well, no, it's just like she's like a high on the list B actress. So like maybe they've only like paid her so much.
Is she even a high on the list B actress?
Probably not.
Probably now. Yeah, she's probably C. I think she was in Star Trek, wasn't she?
Was she?
The new Star Trek? I think she was someone's mom.
Not that I can recall. I haven't seen Star Trek 2009 since 2011.
2 years ago.
She was in Heathers, which I've never seen.
Heathers is great.
I
I
heard
was
that
actually
was
just
awesome.
recommending
It's like a
it to
really
Bobby the
dark
other day.
comedy, isn't it? Yeah.
Christian Slayer
Yeah.
and stuff.
I want to just suggest everything to Bobby.
I know.
Bobby, stop watching those things.
Who's Bobby?
He's
He's a
this
new
like
kid at the store.
17-year-old that works at the store now.
Oh, cool.
He's younger than my sister. That's weird.
And he doesn't really know much about movies.
So he's just like this open canvas for you guys that you can
Yeah.
just kind of just...
Just a big Hawaiian shirt for us to just
He loves wearing Hawaiian shirts too.
That's how Erin was when I first met her. My girlfriend. She wasn't wearing Hawaiian shirts. She hadn't seen any movies at all. So she's like, you gotta watch this one, you gotta watch this one. Like, she'd never seen Ghostbusters or anything. I know. Silence? Sure. We'll be silent.
Harry Elves was in this movie.
Carrie Elwes?
Elways.
How do you say his name?
Eelwis.
Eels? Eels?
It's just L's.
Yeah.
Ells?
I think it's just Elves.
Elwes.
Let's pretend that we're the British for a moment and pronounce it however we want.
Eels. I'm gonna say eels.
There you go. Carrie.
Carrie.
He didn't cut his foot off in this movie.
He did not cut his foot off in
which
this
I was
movie.
really hoping for.
Yeah. He was also not wearing tights.
No
He was not a man in tights. Nor was he a princess bride.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't really a princess's bride either.
He wasn't in it much.
He was a vampire's bride.
He was.
Vampires.
So she was the princess of the darkness.
Yeah, what was her name? Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy.
Yeah, she was naked about 90% of the movie.
What was it I said? Listening to this girl breathe is like torture.
Yes.
God,
Was it as soon as she got bitten, or was it the whole movie she was breathing like that?
Movie, she's like,
So she has a breathing problem?
And then she moaned.
Yep. And then just like one boob was out.
Yep.
And I don't know.
at least one boob was visible throughout the entire length of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Almost certain.
Yeah.
And actually, it popped out often when she told somebody that she wanted to kiss them.
Mm.
I mean,
Well, that happens with
titty-
every girl I know, really.
That's a pretty effective way to get someone to kiss.
Oh,
you.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
Like,
no.
I could show you guys my titty right now, and I'm pretty sure you want to make out with me.
Probably.
You don't even have to take anything out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Weird.
That's how effective it is.
I'm just talking about it.
I did notice after she died, the little get-up she was wearing, very Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
And that was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga was
Yeah.
behind the times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that was actually another thing I kind of, since you brought it up, is everything in the, like, Dracula, even in, like, the original literature, is it real theatrical? Like, all their, like, would they be wearing that same type of stuff in the
I
book?
mean, it's Victorian era, so a lot of the stuff is really showy.
Yeah.
And then also conservative.
Yes.
So obviously she wasn't too conservative when she was showing her nerves to everybody.
But it was probably all the way up to here when she wasn't showing her nerves.
Right.
All the way, like,
Right.
you know, below her neck.
So yeah, it's really flowy, big stuff.
It's also very pretty.
Very right. It's beautiful, but it covers everybody up. So I think the costume design in this movie is incredible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know if it did win the Oscar. You guys are talking about.
I know it won 3 Oscars, so I'm assuming it was makeup, costumes,
I don't
and
think he won Best Director.
maybe
for
set
it.
design or
I'm gonna
something.
go as Lucy in her long flowy gown for next Halloween.
Do it.
That would be awesome. They had like the little that whatever weird hat that she was wearing and
Yeah.
some teeth.
As long as can we cut your head off by the end of the night?
Absolutely.
Like that? Okay, cool.
I'll get Digger to be Dracula.
Actually, another thing I noticed too. As far as the Dracula legend goes and everything, do they actually grow like those extra teeth over top of everything, or I thought that they're like canines?
I don't
got
know.
larger.
I thought that their canines just extended. I think when Gary Oldman as young Gary Oldman with blue sunglasses, I think his
Which looked
canines
awesome.
just grew longer.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, that was a cool effect.
So I
But
don't
then,
know
like,
if, like-
but then every other shot he had like the extra teeth. On the
I
outside
don't
of
know
his
if
gums.
like it in this lore like those eventually push out irregular teeth or like I don't know. I liked the effect.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I said, it's been a few years since I read the book, so
Damn you.
I'm such an asshole.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of the set design, like everything was so big and theatrical, and just like,
Oh, yeah.
and it felt like an old movie because some of the stuff looked really
Yeah.
fake. Like it seemed like it was fake on purpose almost.
That could be, or it could have just been 1992.
You think so? Like the one, like at the very beginning when he was a silhouette, like fighting in the battle with all those
yeah.
guys. Like the background was so obviously fake. I
Right.
feel like
That
I
was
don't know.
cool.
But it was
I
still
liked
like,
it.
Oh, that was an awesome scene.
I loved the beginning of the movie. That
yeah, the
was awesome.
opening sequence was amazing.
His armor was cool.
Yeah.
Like he was made out of red beetles. Like he was a beetle board or something.
I feel like the only thing, I thought the ending was, or the beginning was amazing, but the only thing I didn't really like about it was how over the top it was. Like I feel like it was like pretty much overacted the entire time, but it was like cool though.
I think it was overacted, but it almost seemed like someone was telling you a tale or like showing you a show.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah, it almost
There
seemed
a
like it
lot
was
of,
like a play.
Screaming and like yeah, exactly. It did seem like a play.
Yeah. I wonder if it's
see
ever been like on stage. It had to have been at some
I'm
point.
sure there's been a Dracula play or musical at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed like it went from scene to scene, like with just those characters. Like it went from Keanu, what's his name, Jonathan Harker,
Yes.
and Dracula. That was like a 10-minute sequence at the beginning, and then it was Renfield. That seems like it went from scene to scene, like in a play.
The novel begins with Renfield, as far as I can remember, begins with Renfield going to stay with Dracula, and then Harker going to stay with Dracula. So you get a little bit more Renfield going totally nuts.
Why does he go nuts?
Because Dracula has
He just has it.
over him and
Cool.
is using him.
What is he? What was his main use for Renfield though? Like, 'cause obviously Renfield got locked up pretty early.
As far as I can remember, it was just him continuing to try to get to England. But I can't remember enough to say with any kind of expertise. So
Okay.
I can't remember if he felt Mina's presence and needed to get there, or if he was just trying to get to England and then he found out about Mina. So I can't remember his reason for wanting to go to England so badly.
So basically, what you're saying is that Keanu was like really bad in this. Is that really what you're getting at? Okay.
Yes. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
You know, it's like the next year he was.
Keanu's just bad in everything he does.
When he has to play a blank slate, he's incredible.
Right,
I
yeah.
love
If he's just
Matrix.
staring, he's yeah.
Yeah.
That's his best
That's
role.
true.
That's his best role by far.
The
But he
Matrix,
doesn't
he's
have
just
to do much, and he doesn't have to like. He just whispers the whole time and wears sunglasses.
Yeah. And says, "Whoa."
and then a little kid shows him a spoon.
Yeah.
Or
And then
knives.
it bends. He was in Much Ado About Nothing the next year. Like, did no one see this? And
I didn't see much.
Say,
of
like,
that
well-
thing, and I really don't want to.
it's like, well, clearly he can't do Bram Stoker's dialogue. Let's put him in a Shakespearean movie. He can obviously do that. Like, you know?
Like,
I don't know.
Much Ado About Nothing is really good.
How has he like
Keanu
come
Reeves is
so
not-
far in his lifetime?
I don't know. Someone, I think it may have been Corey the other day, was talking about how he cut some kind of deal when he did The Matrix to get a percentage. Instead of just being paid an amount, he got a percentage of the box office amount. And he got a percentage of the sequels. So he made so much money,
He doesn't have to do
he just
anything.
didn't have to do anything
Ever
for the rest
again.
of his life.
He hasn't
So
been around in a
now
while.
he's just, I have a bunch of money.
I'm just
Keanu
gonna
Reeves.
play in a bunch of shit. Well, I mean, but even like when he was younger, Keanu Reeves before Matrix, before he scored a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know
How did he just continue to get roles? All
I
the
don't
time?
know how he landed so many roles.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
he's
what did he
been
do
in a
before
lot.
this? Was
Was
he in
it-
Bill and Ted? And someone said, you know what? I need to put him in
Break
Bram
might have even been
Stoker's.
Before that,
Is it
Point
because
Break might have been like 1990 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
which I've never seen.
Is it
Point
because
Break's
he's
pretty
so...
good.
They're making a remake of
I
that.
mean,
They're making a remake of Point Break?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Patrick Swayze's
What the
dead.
hell is wrong with you?
Do you realize Patrick Swayze is dead?
Yeah,
Who's gonna pay
well, he's,
for that?
I don't think they're gonna ask him to come back.
What if they get his skeleton and use him as a puppet?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's awful.
Oh man,
Do you think
Are they gonna make it do some dirty dancing?
Yes.
Wow.
Do you?
Well, he's not alive. It's not the time of his life. All right, we crossed the line.
All right.
Is undead.
So let's
do you
wait.
think
Let's
that
wait for
Keanu
remake
Reeves-
Dracula. You know, everybody else has a remake.
It's in the public domain.
I want a new Dracula movie so bad.
I think that'd be a good
There
idea.
actually hasn't been like a pretty decent vampire movie in a really long time.
Besides Twilight,
Dracula is such a good vampire story.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it is. I mean, it's the best. It's like the first.
I mean, it's the.
Yeah, it's the
vampire
granddaddy of them all.
story. Huh?
I said it's the pinnacle.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I wanted it to be like our first movie. Because it was like, well, that's the horror story. Yeah,
Yeah.
by far. That
I
and
think that's, like, number one,
Honey, I
so-
Shrunk the Kids would be the other one.
Yeah, sure.
But
Well, Honey,
I Blew Up the Kid is
yeah,
pretty
or
scary.
Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. That's the
Anything with Rick Moran.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the hell's he been?
Little shop of horrors.
Well, I heard he's going to be in another movie.
What is it?
I don't know, but he's coming out of retirement. Like he
Is it
retired
Honey,
from
Go
film.
Shrink Yourself?
Yes.
Ghostbusters.
That'd be amazing.
If he was in Ghostbusters 3 is just some weird cameo.
It's
I'd be
actually
okay with that.
it's Ghost Boosters. It's about baby Ghostbusters.
Ghost Bumpers.
Or Ghost Boomers. It's about baby boomers. It's a bunch of old Ghostbusters.
That'd be awesome. It's actually it's all the original cast that come out.
Yeah, it's just that. It's just the old guys. Yeah.
Except for Bill
It's like
Murray.
set like 20 years in the future, and like Ghostbusters is like this huge thing, but they don't actually fight ghosts anymore because they're like a novelty group.
Right.
Like just everybody knows them.
I think they were considering that for the new script,
That would actually be kind of amazing.
like them being a big franchise and then training new people.
That'd be awesome.
They were considering that for a while.
That could be cool.
That'd be very cool.
If you had like the original guys like trying to teach like some new up and coming funny people.
And they're obviously not like hip to today's crowd, and
Yeah,
so maybe like the newer guys have like their own methods of doing things.
the crazier gadgets
Yeah.
like the Mystery Machine.
Right.
The Mystery Machine. There you go. Ghostbusters meets Scooby-Doo. It's like Scooby-Doo movies all over again.
That would be amazing. What was up with Lucy and back to Dracula? Sorry. What was up with Lucy and Winona Ryder kissing in the maze at the one point? Which I'm not going to complain about or anything. I'm just saying, like, well,
I think that was all.
Was that
like,
in someone's
a
mind?
dream. Yeah, I think that was a
Was
dream
that
sequence.
part of the dream? Or
Well, actually, it might not have been a dream sequence either, though. That's one thing that's hazy about it, because then later in that scene, you go to the end of the maze when she finds Lucy again. She's obviously being fucked by Dracula. in his
Dracula.
form.
she's making love with
No, no.
Dracula.
She was bent over back, like
she was getting fucked.
Yeah,
There
she
was no
was-
love there.
there was no.
It was
Dracula
just
didn't
it
love
was
Lucy. He loved
animalistic.
Lucy.
It was yeah.
Yes, it was very animalistic.
Probably because he was an animal.
So why was he after Lucy then?
I think just to get strength and to get closer to Mina.
Or was he trying to show Winona, like, this is what you're going to get? This is just a preview of what I can
That
do.
was just to add to his his little demoness women, because they already had 3. What's one more? Right?
How many? You can't have enough guides of Dracula. You need.
You okay there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, sick.
Oh, gotcha.
But actually, the part that I thought was kind of pretty cool that I was unexpected was when Keanu was getting
Gray hair.
Taking advantage of.
taken advantage of by those 3.
That was an awesome scene.
And the
Not
two,
because there was a bunch of naked
like,
girls or anything, but
paired stood up, and the one was
Right.
hanging underneath the other one.
yeah, and it had that
they
weird
walked
stop
away.
motion kind of
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
That part was pretty awesome.
that was awesome.
I was like, what's happening? Are they?
Because I did not see that happening at all, because they obviously looked separate when they were all eating on him on the
Yeah.
bed, and then
Mhm.
they kind of got up and they were conjoined.
Maybe they.
That was a
were
cool scene.
Busy scissoring, and then Dracula interrupted them, and they're like, "Well, this is too good to stop."
Actually, even when Dracula entered into that scene, that part was awesome too. Just he just flies
Yeah,
in and
that was cool.
sparks
What the hell
fly
are you
and-
guys doing?
Exactly. He is mine.
Yeah, some of the camera work was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it reminded me of Sam Raimi for some reason.
Yeah,
like some of the
especially,
like weird.
the first person like shots of like obviously like Dracula flying.
Yeah.
It reminded
The
me a
village.
lot of Sam Raimi, but it seemed like clumsy, weird Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
wish that they hadn't done the fast motion. Like if they
Francis
had,
Ford Coppola was like, I love Evil Dead. I want my Dracula to do what his demons did.
Yeah, and I kept thinking Terry Gilliam too. Reminded me of like watching like 12 Monkeys or something. Like just the weird
So
like
that's one I need to rewatch too.
yeah.
Because actually, as far as Terry Gilliam goes, I can only think of like his funny, like weird or zany stuff.
as much as
Monty
I love
Python and
Monty
Like Monty Python, like all the Monty Python stuff, and then even Brazil's like real, like weird but kind of like funny.
Oh really?
As
That's
much
kind
as
of
I love Monty Python, I've never seen a Terry Gilliam movie. And you gave me Time Bandits, so I still haven't watched it.
He directed Time Bandits?
Mm-hmm. Time Bandits is amazing.
Cool.
Those are dwarves that go through time and steal God's blueprints for the world.
Sure.
I didn't know that was the plot synopsis, but now that I do,
Now we have
I'm
to watch it.
very upset that I haven't watched it
It's
yet.
amazing. And they like literally just run through time away from God, and God's just chasing them through different spaces of time.
It's a lot like life, isn't it?
Yes.
What was I gonna say? I don't remember now. Keep talking. I'm gonna think about it.
Tom Waits. Let's just sing Tom Waits songs.
Charlie, I'm pregnant. Is it on that street?
I don't remember.
Wait, what's your Tom Waits exchange song?
Oh,
I'm trading in my movies, 'cause I need the gas. They said to take the trade, but today I'll have the cash.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
I never remembered what I was gonna say. So you did that for nothing.
we vamped for nothing.
I'm sorry.
Vamped. Dracula.
Oh, whoa. That's why I did it, so you can make that pun.
Have you guys seen Dracula Dead and Loving It?
Yes.
Yes.
I have not seen it.
That's a funny movie. In fact, the one scene when they cut Lucy's head off reminded me of the scene when... Oh, who was it? Steven Weber from Wings. Do you guys know who that is? They did that scene where Van Helsing stabbed her in the heart, but when they did it in the Mel Brooks movie, there's just like an impossible amount of blood flying everywhere. Just like hundreds of gallons everywhere, and it just kept going on for minutes. And it's a really funny movie.
What other vampire things are your guys' favorite vampire?
I'm not really like much of a vampire
Yeah.
person. Interview with the Vampire I love. That's like probably the best vampire movie I've seen.
30 Days a Night's awesome.
I love that movie
30
too.
Days a Night is
Yeah.
great.
That's a good point. I just watched that a couple weeks ago.
And I always had a battle in my head for a love-hate thing on Underworld. I hated
never
it when
seen
I
those
first
movies.
Saw it, and then the more I kind of gave it a chance, the more I liked it. And I don't know.
They probably get
Underworld-
better.
Still just kind of feel
Underworld is
indifferent
kind of
about
a
it.
guilty pleasure thing for me.
Exactly.
Like, it's so ridiculous that I would never watch it as a serious thing.
That's
Like,
how I am
it's
with-
so fun to watch.
I'm
I
with that
hated
with
it
the
just
Resident
because,
Evil movies.
vampires are always supposed to have a superhuman strength
Mhm.
and all agility and all this stuff, and they use automatic weapons through the entire movie.
Like, why not just
And
rip
it
them
just,
apart?
exactly, I went into this movie thinking, I'm like, werewolves against vampires, this is going to be so fucking awesome. And then, the first fight, you're
It's
like,
just Matrix stuff. Yeah.
and you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And then the werewolf just, destroys the vampire the first second they get. When he doesn't have a weapon in his hand, he gets owned. And I'm like, he's a vampire, though. He's got to be, somewhat as strong as a werewolf. But
So
no.
the vampires have to use guns to fight the.
Yeah, they use guns.
I think it's
That's
mostly
silly.
because it's Kate Beckinsale, and if you touch her, she'll just snap like a twig,
Yeah.
It's true.
float away in the breeze.
Or they just have
But
to
then,
add action
that's
scenes.
the thing that's weird about that movie, though, is because, vampires as a whole are this huge race, but then the, head vampires are the only ones that have any kind of, strength or any, any of the old folklore Dracula stuff
Right.
that, kind of carries over to their characters. But, the rest of the vampires are just, normal people.
They're just like, well,
I
That
wear
I
a
can
large
kinda see,
leather
is,
trench coat.
built like Bill
But
Nye.
then Bill Nye, he's awesome. He breaks a werewolf's neck with his bare hands.
Maybe those are the main vampires, and the rest are kind of like their ghouls. Like,
yeah.
You know what I do like?
What do you like?
The first Blade.
Oh yeah,
I love the first Blade.
All three Blades are great in my opinion.
I've only seen the first one, I think.
Number 2 is Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
So 2 is awesome. My only gripe with 2.
Yeah.
My only gripe with 2 is there's a lot of wrestling shit. Like,
He hasn't Triple H in
How was
it.
that a
no. I hate it. Like the whole scene with Blade and Nemec, and he's like the main bad guy in that movie. Like they're climbing up walls and jumping down doing elbows on each other, and like it's super.
Yeah,
amazing.
Ron Perlman's in it too, isn't he?
Ron Perlman's in it.
Yeah,
He's
he's
in
in
the
it.
first one too.
I think
He's not in the first one.
He's in all of Guillermo del Toro's movies, except for Pan's Labyrinth, I think.
Actually, he is the eyeballs in the guy's hands.
Yeah. They took his eyeballs out from on the hand. Are you committed or not?
Fine. You don't know. I didn't follow makeup.
True.
The only scene from the first Blade that I remember is the blood rave at the beginning.
Yeah.
This is hilarious.
Pretty much the best part, I think.
One of my favorite vampire things is Helsing, the anime. I know that. Have you seen any of
Helsing's
Helsing?
awesome. Yeah,
Is that based on
Helsing's really
Van
good.
Helsing?
Yeah. Helsing is about Van Helsing secretly not killing Dracula and then making him into his servant, basically. So he makes Dracula into a weapon, and then Dracula goes around killing other vampires.
Ooh.
And it's so awesome.
Which
Oh,
is
That sounds
like
awesome.
Vampire Hunter D, which is also
Which I've also never seen.
Are they both named Alucard?
yeah, actually they
Yeah,
are.
Alucard, Dracula backwards. But
Oh. Look at you.
I didn't even think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alucard is so awesome in Helsing. Like, he can turn into mist, and then there's like eyes everywhere, and then he turns into wolves and eats people, and like.
That sounds like the coolest thing I've ever heard.
The first Vampire Hunter D is really weird because he's obviously that character Alucard, but in the first anime he kills Dracula. Like that's his first enemy is he's going after Dracula, and then Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust is like he's just going after like other vampires. Or whatever.
I have the animated movie The Batman versus Dracula,
Yeah, that's awesome.
which I saw like the first 10 minutes of it.
You should watch the whole thing.
Is it good?
It's cool.
I never liked The Batman because it was, I don't know.
Well, you know, the theme song is by The Edge. So.
I know.
The
X-Men
theme song
Curse
actually
of
was
the
pretty
Mutants.
cool, but the Batman, the only thing I didn't like was how they did the villains, honestly. I didn't like Rastafarian Joker with a British accent.
That's weird.
Was he voiced by Keith David? I feel like
The
he
black
was.
guy?
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
Keith David is the guy that voices one of the Saints in Saints Row.
Yeah, he
Really?
voices Keith David.
He's also the guy who gets Jennifer Connelly to do the ass to ass and Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm gonna look up if the Joker was Keith David so that we can. So we can.
Have you ever read the X-Men versus the Curse of the Mutants? X-Men Curse of the Mutants.
No.
It's X-Men.
The graphic novel?
becoming,
Vampires?
Vampires. Yeah, it's awesome. Like everybody in the X-Men becomes a vampire.
That sounds awesome.
It's really cool.
Hmm.
It starts off with a short called Curse of Dracula, and it's Victor Gischler, and then from there he like took over writing the new X-Men story, and then like continued that, and it's like still going, but I don't think he's writing for it anymore.
Sweet.
I was completely wrong about the Joker being Keith David, but I'm glad we got to talk about Keith David.
I think it was worth it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
worth it.
I want to read really badly American Vampire by Scott Snyder.
Heard it's really good too.
Yeah.
I didn't know Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
A book by him?
No, it's a
like
great
his series.
comic series.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
there's,
first,
like,
the
9
first,
graphic novels of that.
9 volumes, I think.
There might be
The
9
first
maybe.
volume is the first 6 issues,
Yeah.
and all of those were written by him and Stephen King together.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Stephen King, I just started reading Lock and Key, which I have to finish the first trade of that.
Is that good?
Pretty awesome.
I was gonna mention Salem's Lot because I watched the original movie like a year ago, and some of this
Actually,
reminded me of that.
It's been a
little
while
bit.
since I've seen that.
Yeah.
Just side note, real quick. I feel
No.
like a racist now because the
Old
Joker
Chub.
was played by another black man.
Well,
in the Batman
Kevin Michael
style.
Richardson,
Yeah, he's Kevin Michael Richardson.
who did the voice of the how do you pronounce it? Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina?
in The Matrix Revolutions, which starred Keanu Reeves, who is in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Thank you.
I was not totally
Yep.
off topic.
Mind blown. It all comes together. It all comes.
And this is why you're listening to this film.
Yes.
So how long are we making these things anyways?
As long as we want.
Okay, cool.
Are you guys done?
No.
No,
All right.
I'm
We
not.
can wrap it up if you want to.
I didn't think we were done talking about Dracula.
I'm not.
I'm not done either.
I really want to turn
I was thinking
into a
about
million
reversing
rats
my
and just
view.
have a million of myself attack
Can
people.
we talk about how cool that effect was?
Yeah, we already did, but we can do it again.
Flew back in the corner. His eyes got all red, and then it was dark. And all of a
Yeah,
sudden
you
it
know what?
relit,
Some of this actually really
it was
creeped me out.
Rats in the form of a man, then dropped to the floor. That was awesome.
Some of the scenes genuinely creeped me out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Gary Oldman's a creepy dude. I think he's one of the best actors who ever lived.
He's so.
I do. I think he's up there with Daniel
And
Day-Lewis.
actually, what
And
you had said earlier that he could do a Joker, I think he could.
I think
do
he'd be
a
an awesome
sweet
Joker.
I think he would rival Heath Ledger's performance.
I think he could play anybody, actually.
He and Willem Dafoe need to fight over the Joker in the next movie.
Oh man, Willem Dafoe as the Joker could be so good. Because actually,
Have you seen
that's
that
like
picture
my
that's
one thing
circulating?
about the Spider-Man movies is I think that he was a really awesome Osborn.
Except they made him wear that mask.
Yeah,
So the guy that they hired who has a goblin face, they just put a mask on him.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Have you seen that picture that's floating around of Willem Dafoe as the Joker?
Yeah, I've seen
He
it.
looks
The
just
Arkham
like-
Arkham
yeah,
Asylum
he
one.
looks
Yeah,
just like the Arkham games.
Really?
Joker. Yeah.
That's awesome.
we're talking
And
about
all
we're
the
talking
things
about
that
Batman
they
right
do.
now.
Yeah, I know.
We said we wouldn't do it, and we're doing
We
it.
already talked about the Batman. Now we're
Well, that
talking
was
about
the
Willem
Dracula
Dafoe.
movie though. That was related.
Wait, right, but the Joker also pale. Vampire Dracula. Yeah,
Okay.
we're back.
No, but really, Batman's awesome. What am I
Dracula
gonna?
was a Batman.
Batman was played by
Are we done?
Michael.
Batman!
Batman was played by Michael Keaton, who was in Beetlejuice, which also starred Winona Ryder, who was in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming. Do you want to give it a rating? I can tell you on IMDb has a 7.4 rating, which is pretty damn
Which
high.
actually,
It's very high.
This is going off topic again for 1 second.
God damn it.
Beat Takeshi Kitano, has never directed anything that he hasn't written himself and has never gotten below like a 7.5 rating on IMDb for any of his movies. So that further makes him a badass.
That is awesome.
That is pretty bad.
That's
Like,
cool.
I was actually shocked because he's the guy that's like, if you've ever seen Battle Royale, he's the teacher in Battle Royale. He plays Zatoichi the Blind Swordsman. Like, he's in a lot of
Okay.
like Asian movies, but he writes and directs everything he's in.
That movie ripped off the Hunger Games, I think.
What?
Right, Battle
Oh, right,
Royale.
I'm just kidding.
I would pretty much agree with IMDb. Like,
Yeah.
the movie has problems,
hmm
but it's a lot of fun. I would probably rate it, if we're going to do a 10-point rating system, I think 7.5 is fine. I would have called it probably a 3.5 just because I couldn't call it 3 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it between a 7.5 and an 8
Yeah.
for sure.
Other
It was a
than-
little over 2 hours, and it kind of felt like it was 2 hours at some
Yeah.
points. But once
Once
there are
stuff
big
starts-
chunks of awesome shit going on, it's like, whoa!
Once stuff
I couldn't
starts
take my eyes off of
Even-
it.
Even the parts that were like drawn out were still really effective. I feel
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
everything was really well shot, and the story and the dialogue was still really cool. So
It really never lost my attention.
exactly.
The only major problem I have, other than
Keanu
some of the
Reeves.
stuff being, dated, is Keanu Reeves.
We just can't stop talking.
That and Quincy the Texan, but honestly, he just made
The
me
Rocketeer.
laugh. Yeah, the
Hilarious.
Rocketeer made me laugh the whole time.
He was just a
What about
a
that line
total
where he said
stereotype.
He's gonna put you down like an old.
You know, like
Yeah,
an old
just
lame,
right.
like an old lame horse.
What did he say when they were riding up to their house about like that Lucy being hot like a mirror in heat or something ridiculous?
Did he say that?
Something nuts.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that either.
So if you think you had seen this movie in 1992 when it came out, what would you have thought of
I
it?
probably would have drooled and then shit my pants.
Yeah.
Because I was 2 years old.
Do you think?
I probably would have been completely confused, honestly,
If you-
because
Not if you were the age you were back then. If you were who you are right now, but you were in 1992 and you hadn't seen any other movies that came out now. This is kind of a confusing what if, isn't
I
it?
totally get it.
probably
Okay.
would shit my pants.
Yeah, I think it would be the
Probably
coolest
still
movie I've
would've-
ever
I
seen.
still would have.
Because honestly, like even after seeing everything that I've seen, the movie, like, as far as like being as sexual as it was and the shot the way it was, I have not seen much like that. Like there's not a whole lot of movies that.
Yeah, I
give that
can't
type
really
of
compare it to
atmosphere,
anything.
you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you think if you had seen it back then, Keanu Reeves' acting would have been bad back then?
I'm pretty sure it still would have been.
It would still would have been bad? Okay.
But
It wouldn't have been just as much to compare it to. It's just still pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't understand the whole thing with his hair turning white. Is it just from the effect
what
that
is it?
Dracula had over him?
Well,
or-
maybe, the only thing I can think of is the fact that, like, when he went to that coven, he was obviously weak. You know, the girls had just drained all his blood out of him. So maybe his hair turned white as a result of being weak and not having any blood.
yeah, I don't know.
And then it took, for some reason, it seemed like days, you know, a week for him to be able to get back to black.
Or-
it's a very loose concept in this.
Exactly, it's weird.
Or he jizzed in his hair from being with all the
That
girls at one time.
probably- That might have been it.
That-
Or
that's
he
probably
he
what it
ran
was.
Ben Stiller was just like, hey, you have some gel in your ear right there.
But yeah, I didn't think that was one of my few problems. I didn't think that looked too good. It looked like they just slapped some baby powder on his head.
Time is a confusing aspect of this movie, and then they should have either made it a more gradual change or probably just ignored it totally, because they get rid of the white hair and
Yeah.
it's like instantaneous.
Yeah, it's not like
So there's a lot of magic going on.
There's never like a hint that he's like recovering. It's just his white hair's gone.
yeah.
So Dracula, I don't know if this is the same as the book, but he can just turn into anything he wants, kind of.
He can do pretty much whatever he wants.
That's so cool. I want to do whatever I want.
Well, let's go to a Catholic church. We're gonna stab a crucifix,
Okay.
and we're gonna drink the blood that drips out of the crucifix.
Make sure you're dressed like a Beetleborg at the time.
Yes.
I think this is a plan that can't be beat, honestly.
I mean, then obviously we're gonna live forever.
Do you ever hear about those people that think they're vampires for real
Oh yeah.
and they get like teeth implants?
Yep.
Don't you think if they were real vampires, they wouldn't have to get the surgery? to
Probably
get the,
not.
yeah. I don't know. Just a random thought.
I think it's a good
Yeah,
plan.
but people don't think.
There's some weird people out there.
There's actually, what was I just reading that has like a, oh shit. Oh yeah, Preacher. There in the graphic novel Preacher, there is like actually like a little small society of people, because one of the characters in that series is a vampire named Cassidy, and he actually stumbles upon like one of those groups, like a little cult of people that think they're all vampires, and he just totally like beats the shit out of all of them because he's just like, you guys are all a bunch of idiots. Like,
That reminds me of Bret Easton Ellis, the guy who wrote American Psycho.
Mhm.
He wrote a book called The Informers, and there's
yeah, which is a really bad movie, by the way.
it's a bad movie, but the book is phenomenal.
The best part of that movie was when Mickey Rourke blew himself up in his trailer at the end of the movie.
That was cool, and Amber Heard being naked quite a bit.
Yes.
What? What'd I say? But no, it's a collection of short stories, and one story is about a group of vampires that go around L.A. killing people.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Brandon Snell's side note: American Psycho television show starting this Friday.
What?
On what channel?
Not certain, but
Oh,
ABC.
I knew it was
ABC
right.
Family.
I don't
It's
know.
the secret life. The secret life of the American Psycho.
Bates Motel is on USA, right?
Yeah, I heard that's really good.
I've actually heard it too.
American Horror Story is fucking amazing. I've only seen the first season, but
That's the one. That's the only thing I've seen too. Is like the first 5 episodes of the first season. I don't know.
it gets really
Too much
good.
like a soap opera to me.
Yeah,
If
that's
they
true.
do the next season as vampires, I'm in.
Yeah, I want to get into vampires more. I don't know.
There's
They're
not a
so
whole lot of
cool.
vampires.
I guess there's not.
They bring out the I was never
As far
a
as
goth, but they bring out
literature,
the
I'm sure there's
17
probably
Yeah.
gothic.
There's the Vampire Diaries. I don't want to watch that. Or True Blood.
True Blood's actually supposed to be pretty good. My sister does like Vampire Diaries.
I would like to watch True Blood. It seems like a raunchy, awesome version of Vampire Diaries.
Exactly. I feel like
There's a lot of sex going on in it, too.
Better of the two.
I didn't know this whole vampire and sex correlation thing. I never picked up on that. See, I saw all the Twilight movies. I got dragged to them.
Those don't have that whole like seductive tone to them.
Those are just high school kids being angsty and passing notes to each other in class.
Plus, they can smell period in that movie.
They can.
That's why they sparkle.
Well,
Is that true?
I guess that's probably not like because I mean they do have that. Vampires are supposed to have that animal instinct, so they probably can smell period blood.
Yeah, they can probably do that anyway. But I like to just point out I'm talking about Twilight
because it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, why would you throw that in the movie?
You ever seen those movies?
Hello, somebody is bleeding.
Any of them?
Over the left side of the classroom.
Scenes from them.
We got scenes isn't enough. We need to sit down and watch the first one.
No.
Have you seen the first one?
I won't watch.
It's really bad.
Okay,
I've seen all of them.
Special podcast. It's just an offshoot. We'll watch Twilight.
Okay.
And then we'll sit here and shit all over it.
That'll be amazing. I would do that.
I feel like that's a waste of our podcast.
We have all of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Special offshoot.
Yeah.
Twilight.
This is for the bonus.
This would be
features.
optional.
Right.
It'd be like episode 1.5 or something. I was thinking at some point, if we're running out of ideas of what to watch next, we could take suggestions from all of our fans, all 2 of them.
So we have 2 fans now?
Probably.
Aaron, he'll probably force.
Yeah, I'll force my girlfriend to listen to it. He'll force his girlfriend to listen to
What's
it.
she gonna do? Like, just actually listen to it and then be like, okay, well, you guys are just.
Well, you guys are just goofing off. Are you making money doing this? Like, is it going to pay the bills, or what's going on here? That'll be the first question she has. But I'll ask her, what horror movie do you think we should watch next? And she'll say, you should watch Ernest Scared Stupid.
I actually have a lot that I know you haven't seen that I think would be awesome topics for this thing.
Like what?
Suspiria being one.
This is your chance.
Martyrs being a number 2.
Martyrs would be awesome. That's a horror movie to watch, though.
I would like to reattempt to watch it.
I tried watching it with him and my friend John. Hi, John. John will listen to this. That's fan number 3. We got through like the first 15 minutes and we had to turn it off.
So what was offensive about it?
Well, not offensive. It was just it's hard to watch.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, it's violent.
Digging into.
Oh yeah, it was the scene when she's digging into the back with the
yeah. See, that whole part is like a mind fuck that you guys haven't even like experienced yet.
No, I've seen the whole movie.
Oh,
I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't. But
The first time I watched it was very hard to get through.
Yeah.
Very hard. But I've since
the
then.
first time I watched it, I literally watched it automatically. As soon as it shut off, I started all over again, and then I invited my friend Chris over to watch it the next day. And actually, as we were finishing it up, my ceiling fan fell out of my ceiling.
Holy shit!
And was just hanging by the wires as the credits were rolling for that movie.
And then you had a heart attack, right?
And then I had a heart attack. I actually shit my pants. I threw that chair away that I pooped in.
I feel like that's a true story. I don't know.
I mean, everything up until me shitting my pants on the chair. I did throw that chair away.
That's the part I wanted to be true. No, since the first time, which was a struggle to get through, I've seen that movie like 5 times since then.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's really good.
I've seen 15 minutes of that movie.
It makes you think big time.
It really does.
Yeah. So does The Tall Man.
Jenny, to watch.
The Tall Man's great. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, you guys' movies.
It's got the Jessica Biel in it. She's pretty good in it, actually. I don't think she's a great actress.
I think she was pretty good in it.
Yeah.
And actually, I like the little girl's voice that was like narrating most of the movie.
Pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whatever you think that movie's about, it ends up doing it's a whole other thing. Like by the time it's over, it's crazy. It's a mind fuck.
Dracula's in it, isn't he?
Dracula shows up with
Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
They're actually the ones stealing the kids for some kind of weird blood farm.
I always thought that they need to do I wish they would do more now that they've got this Avengers thing going on. I hope that Hollywood embraces the idea of crossover things in movies. I think that'd be a great idea.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah,
what if they actually did like a Bram Stoker's Dracula versus X-Men?
Right.
Comics like
exactly.
Like your own like curse.
Who wouldn't see that
movie? I would go watch that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Also, what would happen?
Like you just have like some kind of crazy like vampire virus that's spreading across all of mutants.
Yes.
And, they become bloodthirsty vampires. That's awesome.
I'd be there opening night.
What would happen if Dracula bit Frankenstein's monster?
Would it die? Is that what you're saying? Or would Frankenstein's monster turn into a vampire?
Like a vampire, but like Frankenstein's monster is already super strong. What do you
Well, I
become,
mean, not only that, but like
ridiculous?
Frankenstein's monster doesn't have any blood in him though. So could they
Does
have
he not
that
have
whole
blood?
like? Does he have blood?
I mean, I figure he has to.
Frankenstein's monster?
Because he's not undead.
But he was brought to life by like
Electricity. By electric eels.
yeah.
So what if Dracula bit him and then sucked out electricity and became a robot vampire?
That would be cool.
I feel like this is something we should explore.
Either that, or he
And
can just becomes like a vampire version of Raiden from Mortal Kombat. He just shoots electricity out of his fingers.
this becomes Christopher Lambert.
And thus is the birth of Edward
Lambert.
Palpatine.
Yeah,
Is that how you pronounce his name?
that's how I pronounce it. Kind of like Mark Millar.
Stephen Colbert.
That is how you pronounce his name.
That's not.
I think
It's
it's
not?
Miller.
It's
I'm
Miller.
pretty sure
It's
Is
Miller.
it Miller?
Zach and I were pretty adamant about Millar for a while. But
I actually
Everybody
I
I've
punched him in the
talked to
face
has
over it.
Pronounced it Millar.
They're all wrong though.
Okay, well, it's good to know that.
I actually don't know. I heard someone interviewing him on the Kick-Ass on a special feature, and the interviewer said Miller, but I don't know if Miller would have said, "Well, you're an idiot."
here's
You know?
the thing. That guy's an asshole. So
Probably.
who cares?
Who, Mark Miller?
Or, yeah.
Is he?
I don't know. The way he writes is like, I don't like the way you write.
I like some of his writing.
I do until like the end of his stories. It's like, why is this happening?
What was I gonna say? I think we should explore this. I think we should write a story where Dracula bites Frankenstein's monster in the neck.
Okay, and then maybe they
Because that's all in the public domain, so we don't have to worry about. Yeah. So once we're done with our Lincoln
Are we gonna
versus
try to do
Booth,
something like Lincoln versus.
have you heard about this? we were no god. Okay, I'll explain this. We were writing a script back in 2009 called Lincoln versus Booth. During this whole craze of like Alien versus Predator and Freddy versus Jason, and basically the Nazis come to America. It's modern day. It's 2013. There's this new Nazi regime that comes to America, and they take the DNA of John Wilkes Booth and they create like a zombie super soldier of John Wilkes Booth. So what does the U.S. government do? Well, obviously they have to go.
Counteract that.
They have to go to Lincoln's
Abraham
grave
Lincoln.
and take Abraham Lincoln's DNA and create a super Lincoln soldier, and it just becomes this
Now,
all-out
does
war.
he still have the blood or the bullet hole in the back of his head?
I think he should. I think he should.
You should like keep things there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should-
He pulls things out of there. He's just like, oh, I've got this ID.
Yeah, he has to give it back to Booth. He just goes, "I believe this is yours." That'll be his big line.
Maybe he can pull like his last bullet from there and be like, "I believe this belongs to you," and
Shoot him.
shoot him in the head.
Well, it'd have to be the head if he was a zombie.
Wouldn't that be the best movie though?
Yeah.
Because they're doing like
pretty
Abraham
good.
Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So we're talking about vampires. Excuse me.
Vampires, Dracula.
Yeah.
There we go.
See,
180.
we know what we're doing. Which I never read, and I haven't seen the movie either. But I hope it's
The movie's
good.
okay.
Is it good?
It's alright.
It's all right.
I mean, if you're looking at it from purely an entertainment factor, it's definitely entertaining. You know, it's just nonstop action, and Abraham Lincoln is wielding an axe, which he then
See, now I think it should have
takes down
been.
vampires with.
I think it should have been Daniel Day-Lewis and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and then it could have been like the companion piece to Lincoln. So like
That'd been so cool.
this movie in theater A is for all your grandparents to go see, and then this one's for all the grandkids to go see. And it's basically the same movie, but this one has vampires in it.
Have you guys?
Because I mean, he does give his famous speeches in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Gettysburg Address.
No, he doesn't give the Gettysburg Address, but he does. Just like the
I Have a Dream.
yeah.
I have a dream.
What were you gonna say?
dream.
But all vampires will be dead.
Kendrick had a dream.
What were you gonna say?
Have you guys seen Daybreakers?
I have not.
No.
seen it yet.
But I like.
hate that movie.
Is it bad?
I hate it.
I
That was
love.
about vampires that they are now taking control and they're harvesting humans.
They basically, they basically have taken over the world, or at least America, and then which is basically
Well, America is the world, though.
That's
Most-
what I'm
yeah.
saying, basically the world.
I
Anyway.
mean,
Yeah. Other countries. What are you talking about? No one speaks other
Like-
languages.
there's only us, and then there's water.
Yeah.
Right.
There are only two types of people. There are only two types of people in the world: Americans and terrorists. That's it. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Daybreakers.
Daybreakers is America's take over the government. The government.
The government.
American Dragon.
And then they run everything, and they use humans as basically batteries. And then there's like resistance cells of humans.
And then they're waiting for Keanu Reeves to come and save
Keanu
them
Reeves,
because
yes,
he's
to
the
put a
one.
stake in Dracula's heart,
He's the one.
and then for his hair to turn white.
Did you know that Neo?
But then I think
Is
the
an ana-
Weaving shows up and pulls his sunglasses off.
And then he puts on the V mask.
And then blows up Parliament.
Right.
And then Natalie Portman shows up and she's bald. Did you know that Neo is an anagram for one? Did you know that? It's the same 3 letters.
Did you know that Keanu is an anagram for
Bad acting.
unique one?
Unique one.
Not really. I used to.
don't live here no more. You don't live here no more.
Keanu don't live here no more.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Vampires.
We're good. And then they became bad.
Right.
Hmm.
Daybreakers, not a big fan. When the vampires die in that movie, they explode, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, violently
That's-
explode.
That's how Blade is.
Blade is
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
shove
They
those.
just turn into hot, like, ashes. Like, it's just kind of
Well, like
It's
where
not
like
hot
the
ashes,
blood
it's
god
like
of the
violent
Magra like
explosion.
literally explodes at the end because like
Just spontaneously
Blade puts all like
combust.
his like artificial serum into the blood god and he's just like I'm a giant blister.
Is that what he says before he dies?
That's got...
I'm a zip.
Daybreakers has the Ethan Hawke in it.
Yes, it does.
I like Ethan
And
Hawke.
he's dressed like Han Solo the whole time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta see this movie.
Maybe if I saw it again, I wouldn't hate it. Because, like, Ethan Hawke is in it. Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe. He's in there.
Willem Dafoe, Willem
Maybe I
Dafoe.
wouldn't hate it, but at the time, I was like, what the fuck am I doing watching this movie?
You're just disappointing yourself.
Yeah. I was
Come on, I'm better than this.
The vampire movies I do need to watch are like the day watch and night watch movies.
I heard those are
can
awesome.
see those too.
That's the
I
guy who
heard those are really
directed
good.
Wanted?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
No, because the guy that directed one is the guy that directed Abraham Lincoln, I think.
Oh. Okay. I know that.
So
So,
maybe it's the same guy.
whoever
I know he
directed
definitely directed-
Day Watch and Night Watch? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Whoever directed that directed some big American movie recently. I don't know what it was though.
Girl
Angels
drag
and
tattoos.
Demons.
Angels and Demons.
Not really.
Yeah, I've never seen
I
Nosferatu.
I haven't seen Nosferatu either, actually.
Oh, you know, Willem
But I
Dafoe.
have seen a part of Nosferatu because in the second Waxwork movie, which is amazing, it's like a whole weird conglomerate of like all these old horror movies that they just play homage to, and one of them being Nosferatu. Like they do like a what's the movie with John Malkovich where he plays Nosferatu,
No, Willem Dafoe plays Nosferatu.
but John Malkovich
Which plays the guy
the Shadow of the Vampire.
Shadow the Vampire. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say he did play a vampire.
Because that has like a whole like that takes a whole lot of like scenes from Nosferatu, doesn't it?
I think it's about the making of Nosferatu.
Is it?
I believe.
Okay.
I've never seen it. I want to.
Well, Waxwork takes like a scene from Nosferatu, and it's like the infamous one where he's like walking in to the girl.
That's cool.
You know, what everybody knows.
That's on YouTube. I need to watch it. I think. Because why wouldn't you just watch a movie on YouTube? You can do that now.
What is that guy's name? FW. What? Monroe.
FW Monroe. I think.
Is it Monroe? I thought it was like some kind of weird like Mariano. I don't know.
FW Monroe. I don't know. I'll look it up.
He's done a bunch of stuff though, hasn't he?
I feel
That
like
actor?
You guys are just putting
No, that's-
sentences together.
That's the guy that directed Nosferatu, isn't he?
Oh, I see.
He's done a whole lot of silent films
Yeah, I'm
that
not
are
sure.
like big. I think
Still haven't seen White Zombie.
White Zombie's great.
Is it good?
It's Bava.
It's got Bela Lugosi in it,
Yeah.
who was Dracula once.
It was Dracula. Look at that.
I think Bava directed it.
Pablo Ravi.
No, Mario Bava. Mario Bava Ravi. I know he did Black Sabbath, but I think he did White Zombie too.
White Zombie.
He If you manage to edit this down into something intelligible about Dracula, I'll be so impressed with you.
No, they're. I mean, I'm gonna cut some of this out.
Right, I know.
Yeah. But what's not supposed to all be about Dracula?
I'm still gonna be very
It's just,
impressed.
Dracula is just the catalyst for other conversations that we kind of delve into. That's
So how are you going to
that's the
narrow
point.
this down? So we're
Um,
going to be...
I'm just gonna splice all your words to make it sound like you're calling yourselves names. That's what I'm doing. It's gonna take hours. I am a dick. Yeah, do you want to wrap it up now? Are you done now? Are you
There you go.
masturbating my microphone?
He just did. How should we wrap this up?
I don't know. Make a fart noise.
I want to suck your dick.
We're at an hour and 3 minutes, boys.
Really? An hour and 3 minutes?
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. You want to wrap it up? I
Hey,
think
2
next week.
thumbs up.
Do you want to do this every Monday? Or are you guys usually off on Mondays?
I'm not.
I'm usually off.
No, it's different every Monday.
Well,
I'm
you're
off on
normally off
Tuesdays.
on
Off on Tuesdays.
Monday nights, though, aren't you?
Did you work today?
No, I work. Yeah, I am normally off on Monday nights now. So yeah, I guess we probably do it Monday nights.
Okay. I think Suspiria is next Monday,
I'm down with that.
which I've never seen. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I
You-
know there are a lot of vibrant colors in that movie.
Mhm.
We can talk about
Any boobs?
colors.
Boobs. I don't think so. I actually don't think there's any nudity in that.
All right.
movie.
So
I'll
what
just bring some
else?
pictures of boobs.
Yeah. So we're listening to us pre-Suspiria viewing. We've not
Yes.
seen it yet.
That's accurate.
So this time next week we will be talking about it.
To be fair, I have only seen those 3 movies that I said earlier and Dracula. Those are
You've now seen 4 movies in your life.
yes. So
And Slumdog Millionaire.
You saw Slumdog Millionaire
well, really, Slumdog Millionaire is just in my heart.
because you're
Well,
dating.
you see it every day because
You're dating a Slumdog
Yeah,
Millionaire.
that's your wife.
You're dating a
Except for you didn't want to
Slumdog
do that.
Hundredaire.
Right. I'm just Slumdog. I'm not to the millionaire part.
It's not Justin who said he saw that and he was like, he kept asking you questions about it because you're dating an Indian
I
girl.
don't know if that ever happened. But
It's a great movie, man. Yeah, like you get to learn about like the culture and yeah.
Oh, you know what? I saw Drew today. Speaking of Divya, I saw Drew today, and he's just like,
Where?
"Does Dave's girlfriend really have a jewel in the center of her forehead?" And I was like, "Why would you ask me that?" He's like, I don't know. He told me she's one of those girls that's got the dot in her forehead.
I did not tell him that.
What does that mean exactly?
I don't know. Don't
It's
ask
something
me.
just for
You never
the-
asked her.
Ask Divya.
We're gonna ask her.
She's the authority, not me.
We're gonna get her on this show.
Well, it's gotta be just
That's a
something
good
cultural.
idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Let's just tell her to. She has 5 minutes to describe some horror movie, and then just see how. Just like compare it to the actual movie or something. It'd be fun. Isn't it like I have my girlfriend describe Star Wars? It's
Right.
not a video.
Maybe we can like have her watch the trailer to a movie, get her reaction to that, then have her watch the movie, and then get her reaction to the actual movie.
I saw the remake of Evil Dead.
And
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was incredible.
it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it because
It's
I
really
can't
good.
get my Voodoo thing to work on my Roku. But
I
yeah,
I popped it in and my
Did you
fir-
buy it?
I bought it. I blind bought it.
When? Just recently?
It was like 3 weeks ago.
Blu-ray?
when he was blind.
No, DVD. VHS.
Got the metal case Blu-ray.
That's cool. Anyway, I popped it in.
UMD.
I pressed play and I'm like, eh. So it's not really like a comedy. And Bruce Campbell's in it. So I'm just kind of like, we'll just see about this. And I loved it from like the first. It was amazing. I loved it. The story was really creative and
I
good.
loved like the beginning scene where he's just like
When he kills his daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole scene was awesome.
I
It was
loved it.
actually really funny too.
It was funny. It was unintentionally funny. Well, it was intentionally unintentionally funny.
Yeah,
Kind of like Grindhouse. Does that
exactly.
make any sense?
I got you.
You look tired.
Because there were still some pretty funny parts of that movie too.
Yeah. Jane Levy's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Except for when she's like all
Did
gross.
you say Eugene Levy is kind of
Like-
Eugene
she
Levy
cuts
is
her
so
tongue.
hot.
Kiss me, you dirty cunt.
Did she say that?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that one girl got it really bad in the bathroom with her face and everything.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
tell me all the kills.
Well, she doesn't. I mean, well, she dies. Everybody dies in it.
I know, but don't tell me how that all happens.
But it's brutal, man. It was really brutal.
Those glasses.
Yeah. It was, man, some of that was hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. All right. Well, we talked about Dracula for about 6 minutes.
At least 6 minutes.
And what have we learned tonight? This is how we'll end
It
it.
was a positive movie.
This is how we'll end it. It's like, what have we learned? What is the message to take away from
Gary
this?
Oldman looks just as good as an old woman as he did as a young man.
This is true. Keanu Reeves cannot act. Winona Ryder is looking pretty cute in that movie.
She really can't act all that well either. Though.
She wasn't that great either. Her British accent could
But I
have
feel
somehow.
like that's given. She's usually not very good, but she's
Anthony-
always very nice to look at. in my opinion.
Keanu's acting distracted from everyone else's shortcomings.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody else shined.
I think I did. I think that's one thing I didn't mention. I think I described it as watching a teeter totter.
Yes.
What,
you
the
did.
scenes with Keanu and Gary Oldman is like just watching a teeter. Yeah. Anthony Hopkins could pretty much read a phone book, and that would be amazing. Tom Waits,
Great.
actually a pretty good actor.
But I think he's always good in anything I've seen him in too.
He has a song called "The Earth Died Screaming," and that's based on a horror movie from the '60s.
Really?
It's called "The Earth Dies Screaming."
You know,
Is that the
actually,
coolest title ever for a movie,
he-
like
he
in the
has
world?
An album called The Black Rider.
Yeah.
And it's all about a William S. Burroughs play.
Really?
That's cool.
And
Did
the
he
whole
write-
album is awesome, but it's probably some of his weirdest material.
That's based on a play, and so is Frank's Wild Years, I believe.
But Frank's Wild Years, I think Tom Waits had something to do with it.
He helped write the play.
Yeah.
We're not going to end this. We're just going to keep talking.
There's actually, I think several of his albums, Big Time is a play.
Yeah. He's into that play stuff.
What is he, some kind of queer?
Next, he's going to want to do Rent. I can't wait for all the strangers that have no idea who we are to listen to this and think that that's what we're like.
We're like, what a bunch of...
Because we will be famous through this, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
We will get millions of views.
I already feel like I'm famous.
So where do we
Yeah,
post this? Is it
feel like-
posted on SoundCloud for whoever, anyone?
I can put this on YouTube.
That's a good
I have unlimited time on there.
Do you?
We can keep going for another 14 hours.
All right.
And YouTube will say, that's cute. You got any more?
Actually, we could...
YouTube has this unending appetite, almost like a vampire.
Where's all that space come from? Like SoundCloud, you only get 2 hours and that's it. So I can put my music on there.
Right.
This is just like 2 hours per video. Like it's not. It doesn't.
I give a shit about that.
Where's it all come from? All that stuff, all that space. It's invisible.
It's comes from the future.
It's like a
We're stuck
green.
in the final
It's like a
frontier.
green mist that comes in through your window and just starts talking to you. Yeah.
Its continuing mission to explore strange worlds.
I do think Jeff Goldblum would have made a really good Renfield,
Yeah.
even now.
Chef Goldblum.
Chef Goldblum. I love that guy.
If they make another Dracula, I will be very happy if they made a Renfield.
I guess they're remaking Frankenstein. Daniel Radcliffe.
It shows.
Did you guys look that up?
Funny that you brought that up. I was actually wondering earlier, how is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein
Okay, I was
compared to Bram Stoker's Dracula as far as the movie goes? Because
not as
Mary
good.
Shelley
Not as good.
Frankenstein's got
Have you
Robert
ever seen it?
De Niro.
Have you ever seen Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Doesn't Robert De Niro play Frankenstein?
He plays the monster.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh is Victor
Well,
Frankenstein.
yeah.
But yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's a good movie. I like that movie a lot. That's underrated in my opinion. Not everybody hates it. Which I also have not read that book, and everybody shits on that because compared to the book, it doesn't.
Hold up.
It's not the same thing. They changed some things, but I think it's an awesome movie. Not as good as Dracula. Dracula, I think, is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, back to. We are gonna do this every week.
I would like to do this every
Okay, I
Monday
would do this every Monday.
or every day.
every day.
Every single day.
Every day. You ready to watch a movie? No, I'm just kidding. I am getting tired.
Yeah, I'm not even tired.
I'm getting ready to go to bed, actually. We're supposed to get 4 inches of snow tonight.
Yeah,
It's horseshit.
No, it's actually snow. It's not. It's not.
That's
God.
much better. Oh,
Yeah, doesn't that make you feel better?
I
Yeah.
have to clean all that crap off my car.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get up earlier now to warm my car up. That sucks.
So if we did it on YouTube, though, what kind of guidelines do we have to follow?
None.
Literally, we just post
0.
a video every week.
Do whatever we want.
Well, a
America.
video, audio every week.
Just make sure you post an interesting picture behind the audio.
I was
Preferably the scene where Dracula is double
We
flipping
could.
off.
I don't know if we're allowed. I don't know if that's copyrighted material.
Oh.
But I was gonna put the poster of the movie we're watching as the background of the video.
That would be cool.
I don't think anyone would really care about
I don't think so either. And I was also gonna take the audio of the trailer and have that be the beginning before we start speaking,
I think that's okay.
so you can hear the music.
Because-
You can hear the trailer. That's okay.
I feel like other shows do that and it's okay.
Yeah, like Spill does that. Yeah. Let's just do whatever we want until we get a lawsuit.
That sounds fantastic.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I do every day of my life.
Like, just, someday they'll catch me, but until then, whatever. All right, we're wrapping it up. That is it. Well, until next week,
We bid you adieu.
we
Bitch,
good you
what?
we
Bid you good morrow.
we good you bid evening. Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Suck your blood.
Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, thank you.
Congratulations.
You get a prize.